Welcome to part 3 of the Beginner's Revit course. We'll be adding in the stairs and railings. If you'd like to get access to all of the course files, materials and resources, as well as 4 hours of ad-free content, you can feel free to head over to my website and check out the course. I'll see you there. By clicking on the reference image, I'm going to bring this image to the foreground instead of the background so that we can see underneath it. To do that, this button up here, or we can change the draw layer. I like using this one. We're going to change it to the foreground. Now we can see everything. As we can see, there's a few stairs that we haven't modeled in yet. And it's probably going to be best to do that before the walls, just so that we don't have to move around any walls or floors later, because we might indeed have to change the floor levels according to how the steps work. If we go to the 3D view, we can see where the stairs are going to go. There's some stairs leading up here, and then those stairs lead around up to level 2. So this is the stairwell bit in the middle. Let's go back to the ground floor plan and start to model these in. Again, using the architecture tab, we're going to click on the circulation stair button. Now there's a few ways to model up stairs. The easiest way we're going to do, if we've just got a straight landing like this, a straight run I should say, then we can just create a run. And this creates a run of stairs by specifying points. It automatically creates landings for you. Very simple. All we have to do is just change some settings in this side here. We're going to keep the 190mm and 250mm goings. Each stair has a 190mm riser. It goes up 190 meters, whereas they have a width of 250mm. So they go up 190, across 250. So the base level for the stairs is obviously the ground floor. There is no base offset, that's fine. The top level is level 1, that's cool. As you can see, the desired stair height is 1400, and that is, up to level 1. The run width, we're going to have to figure this out by pressing on the measure tool, and then we can find what's the width from this point to that point where it locks on. So we want a width of not quite 2540 because there are 2 stairs here. We're going to go to the midpoint, and that's about 1200. You always want to make sure that the dimensions are snapped onto an even number, which is easy to use. You don't want to make this 1198.8 because when they're building this, that's not going to be very easy to do. So we're going to make it 1200 for the stair width. Again, click the run button and we can change this to 1200. And we want an automatic landing as well. Now, all we have to do is click on one point and it will tell you how many rises are created and how many you have remaining. So they are going to need 8 rises to be able to get to the top of this level. And as you can see, that actually doesn't quite line up with the floor plan. In fact, this only really needs 6 rises. Therefore, we said that there were going to be 7 steps at 200mm wide, but we've got a 250mm going, so that doesn't exactly line up. So now let's just create a stair that's 190mm going up and 200 across, because then we should have 7 stairs that clear this entire distance. Again, we're going to edit the type of the stairs. We're going to duplicate this so that we don't change that existing stair that we've got there. And we're going to make this a 190mm max riser and a 200mm max going. And then all we have to do is change the tread depth to 200mm. Click OK. Now if we create a stair, it's going to have 200mm in width, as you can see there. There we go, we've got 8 rises like we wanted, and that just about covers that distance. I'm going to place that in, and you can't see it because this reference layer is still on the foreground. I'm going to bring that to the background in a second. I'm just going to click the Finish Edit mode, bring that to the background. And there are our stairs going up to the level above. Again, we can just nudge this to make sure that it's in the right spot, or better practice is to use the Align tool. Click what we want to align to, click what we want aligned, and that's not quite what we wanted. Click that one, click the edge of the railing. If we go to a 3D view, we can now see that our stairs are modeled in. And it's got a nice railing on it as well. These railings are automatically generated when you do a stair. Now we're just going to make sure that this lines up with our reference images. And let's try and find a picture of the stairs, which we actually don't have from what I remember. So not quite, but we do have this image here, which shows that there is going to be a railing that goes from the top level down to the bottom level, and then there are no railings on the sides. So if we go back into this, then obviously that railing there is not necessary, and that railing there is not necessary, as that's going to go all the way up. So we're just going to go ahead and delete them. Now what we can do is go to the level 1 floor plan, which is this floor plan here, and model in another set of stairs that goes up to level 2. So if we go to the floor plan section and click on level 1, oh, we can't see anything, but that's just because it's out here. What you can do is right click on the screen and go zoom to fit, and then it will show you everything that's on your workspace. So let's zoom in here and we can start to draw in this stair again. We're going to go to the architecture tab, we're going to go to stairs, and then we're going to draw another run at 1200 going up from level 1 to level 2. And this is showing new construction because this is a different floor plan. In fact, let's get out of this and let's change this to existing. So that way we don't have to change it again later. That's why that's no longer showing as black. And again, let's go back to create another stair. Level 1 to level 2, we've got the 200mm going this time again, 1200. Let's draw this in. Last time we created the stair from the center line, which wasn't very accurate. Instead, what we can do is change this to be aligned to the left or to the right, depending on which side you want. And we can click on that corner of that stair there and just bring this up. And that's going to generate the same set of stairs going the opposite way. If we go to our 3D view, this should look pretty good. Not bad at all. Let's place that one in. It's going to put in the railings, which we don't need. However, we do need a railing on this side. So we can come back to that a bit later. So now while we're on this topic of stairs, we can actually go ahead and put in the balcony stairs as well, which are going to go up to this point here, which is the balcony, which comes from the ground floor. If we go to the ground floor plan, you can see that the stairs start here, looking at our reference image. Again, click stairs. Make sure you save your project. I love that Revit automatically asks you to save your projects because a lot of the time we don't save and then we lose a lot of work if our computer crashes. So now we want to go from the ground floor up to level 2. And to do that, all we have to do is change the top level to level 2 and apply that. Now you can see the desired stair height is 2800 above the ground floor. Good, that is great. We're going to change the goings. Oh, actually we're going to keep the goings from 200mm. The width, let's find out what the width is going to be. Measure from one side to the other. This is actually a lot wider. These are 1500mm stairs. Let's change the width to be 1500 mils. We're going to change the location line. Instead of being to the left, as you can see, you can't really lock onto anything. If we swap that to the right, now we can click on this point here and draw across and create that stairs. Let's have a look if that actually did what we wanted it to do. So here are the stairs, and it looks like they just don't quite line up. We therefore need to change the height of the rises, and we might need to change the height of the goings as well. If we look at our reference image, let's see if we can find how many steps there are. There aren't any really good photos of the stairs, but we can try and just figure out how many there are by counting them. So I can guess that there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, 17, 18 steps. So if we've got 18 stairs and there's a height difference of 2800. Let's figure out what 2800 divided by, what did we say, 18 is. So that's 155. So if there's 18 steps, each riser is going to go up 155mm. Let's change that by changing the stairs. Make sure you duplicate it. We're going to change this to 155mm max riser. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK and change the riser height to 156 and click OK. As you can see, this still doesn't help with the fact that there's not enough distance. So we obviously then need to figure out what the width of each step is going to be. Let's go to the level 2 floor plan actually, because this is where we've got the overlay. And now we can measure the distance from the top of the balcony, or the bottom of the balcony, I guess you could say, to the bottom of the ground. Let's measure from this point to that point, which is 3300. We're going to have to take a guess at what the stair width is. I'm going to guess it's about 180 mils. So if we go 3300 divided by 180, we can figure out how many steps we need. And that's 18.3. Now 18.3 is a pretty weird number So instead of doing that, we're going to now adjust that number to be 18 steps. Whoops, 18 steps. Because this is just an existing stair set, it's not going to be perfect. If this was a new construction, you would know the riser and going of each stair, but we don't. So again, I'm going to edit this type. We've got 156 there. Now we're going to make this 180. And in fact, let's change this back to 155 because it doesn't have to be perfect. We've got a 150, we're going to rename this 155 millimeter max riser and a 180 millimeter going. Click OK, click apply, and then we're given this error. Or it's a warning actually. The actual riser height of stair is greater than the maximum riser height specified in the stair type. If we click OK, that should be fine. That's going to be something else in these parameters that's saying that the maximum height is going to still be probably 200 millimeters, but we're just going to click OK and this should be fine. Let's delete this stair that we've placed in, create a new run, going from ground floor to level 2. We're going to go back to the ground floor plan and then we can see we can create this staircase, and if we go to our 3D view, that should line up pretty well nicely. We might have to adjust this just a little bit. And to do that, let's go to the level 2 floor plan, and we're going to want to align this to that plane there. Press AL, click that line we want to align to, click the edge of the stairs. As you can see, the railing is currently inside the wall, but if we look at the image here, there is no railing on that side of the wall anyway, so we can not worry about that as we will delete it. Let's click the green tick and see what this looks like. Go to our 3D view. Not bad, not bad. That looks pretty damn good to me. If we rotate around this, you can see that it's a little bit wider than what the balcony actually is. So I've got a feeling these stairs aren't actually 1500 millimeters wide. The real estate plan would have just not been 100% correct. Yep, as you can see, it's showing stairs up there to be really wide, but then here it's quite thin. Let's actually just measure what this distance is, and that's probably more realistically what the width is. And I'm going to guess it's about 650 millimeters wide, which isn't that wide when you think about it. In fact, if we get our tape measure out, 650 is about that wide. So we had to run downstairs that were that wide. Does that look right? To me, that doesn't really look right, but we're going to do it anyways at 650. So now I'm going to delete this stair set again, and we're going to create this again at 650 mils as the actual run width instead of 1500, because that was way too big. Make sure again this goes up to level 2, and now we can draw this in. And this is going to look a bit better. Let's make sure we nudge it again back on our level 2 floor plan. I'm going to click AL to align it to there. We're going to align it to the slab as well. Let's have a look in our 3D view. That looks pretty good, but again, it's still not quite the right width. And I've got a feeling this width of the slab is off. In the photos, you can see there's actually quite a larger overhang over that area below. So my guess is that I'm going to have to move this slab out to match the staircase. But for the moment, that looks really good. We've got some stairs in from the ground floor. There's no railing on this side. I'm going to delete that. We can keep that railing in for now. But let's edit this slab to make sure that it lines up with the stairs. So one way to do that, let's go to our level 2 floor plan. Click the align tool. We're going to align from that end to that end. Click the green tick. Go back to our 3D view. There we have it. Alrighty. So that stair's done, that slab's done, let's put in some walls. In the next lesson, we'll be adding in the walls with custom wall types and materials. If you'd like to get access to all of the course files, materials, and resources, as well as 4 hours of ad-free content, you can feel free to head over to my website and check out the course. I'll see you there.